Cooper from the Fast Track Group, and today I'm just going to do a little bit of training on developing your customer base, and hopefully you've enjoyed watching the other training videos on how to get going, how to place orders, how to drop your catalogues, etc. And we really hope you found that useful. But the whole point about this business is building a really good customer base that might take you a few months to get there, but it's so worthwhile in terms of the income you can get out of it. So I'm just going to take you through some basics as a recap on how to build that customer base. And first of all, we know that with retailing and developing a customer base, it's going to maximise the income that you're going to get out of Clean Easy, and that's what it's all about, is making money. A bit of a mindset is needed here. If you look at this graph, in your first 3 months, that's the period of time when you're actually putting in some serious legwork, and what you're doing is a bit of market research, if you like, is sifting out the people who just aren't interested in the catalogue to find those good people who are, that are our future. So it takes a bit of work to do that, and obviously with the sifting system we've shown you, you'll be able to do that in the first 3 months or so. And right at the beginning, that's where you need to put the bulk of the catalogues out to achieve your income targets right at the start. But as you can see, as that time scale moves forward, you're developing your customer base. And your target, if you like, is to achieve maybe after 9 months or a year, to achieve the same amount of return. Instead of putting, let's just say, 200 catalogues out at a time or a week, to do the same result in terms of orders, you would only need to put out approximately 50 catalogues. Now, there's a journey that you have to follow to get there, but it's so well worth actually going on that journey. So focus on the activity at the beginning, and the results will actually follow. And it works every time if you stick to the system and actually keep at it. Just to give you an idea as a quick recap in terms of your retail potential when you get going, we work on the basis that if you put out 100 catalogues, you're going to pick up around about £100 worth of orders. But don't make the mistake you're going to get that in your first 100 houses. You probably need to go through 2,000 or 3,000 houses to create that average. But just to give you an idea in terms of income potential, let's just say you put out 250 catalogues. You're going to achieve around about £1,000 worth of orders, which will actually give you a gross income of £275. Now, if you really wanted to do a lot more retailing, to give you an idea of what you would need to do to earn, let's just say, over £1,000, you've got to be looking at dropping catalogues off to around about 1,000 houses. Now, as I said before on the other slide, over a period of time, you will actually just start delivering to your customers. And roll it on, say, 9 months. When you get to that point, just see the difference it will make in terms of how many catalogues that you need to put out to actually achieve the same result. You would just need to put out approximately 50 catalogues instead of 200 to achieve that £275. And if you're looking to do a lot of retailing, putting out 200 customers to a customer base, you're going to achieve, potentially £1,000+ income. So it's a serious income, but it takes a little time to develop. Now, let's just go through how you actually can build that customer base and some of the things that make a real difference. Now, the first thing is reliability. What you really need to concentrate on is delivering the catalogues and make sure you stick to a pattern, because people get used to that pattern and you're building up some trust with your reliability, and that's going to pay dividends in the future. So drop on a regular basis, collect promptly when you actually say you're going to pick up your catalogues, and deliver swiftly. All those things are going to make a difference. And the other thing is sorting problems out with a fuss. Now, we've got a business that's got a lot of products, and occasionally people change their mind or they have a problem with a product. If you sort that out really, really swiftly without any fuss, you'll start to get a customer who's going to stick with you as their preferred distributor. So really what you're doing is making a friend, not just a customer. And the other important thing that probably the tip on this is when you're using the personal notes, such as the day slips or the reminders, make sure that you've got your name on it boldly so they get to know you. And the other thing is use their names. People love to be called by their name, whether it's Mrs. Brown or Mrs. Jones. It's just that nice, friendly way of doing business that actually makes a difference. So go that extra yard and always think, what would make me order over and over again with that distributor? So if you think along those lines, that will go a long way To help you with that, we've got a series on the Fast Track Resources site. And just to remind you of that website, that's where you can actually get downloads and all sorts of training on there. But to help you, we've got a series of notes, day slips, reminders, all sorts of things on there that you can personalize that will help you develop your customer base. So have a good look at those and actually start to use them. The other thing is keeping good records, because if you put in all that work in at the beginning, you want to obviously to have a good record keeping system so you can benefit later on. So having a system that looks something like this, where you're just putting down the results of your pickups as you go through your drops when you get started, and you can do that either on a spreadsheet, which you can download from the resources site, or the street sheets, and Clean Easy have even got their own round books that you can use. You can keep really good records that can actually make a difference to you developing your business. And the other key tip on this is don't get flititis disease. Now, flititis disease is actually doing a sort of a dipstick approach, where you might drop some catalogues in one road, panic a little bit and think nothing's happening there, and then you'll go to another area and you just keep hopping around and not actually achieving anything. Work locally, work outwards, and work systematically, and just keep at it, and that will actually in time build up your business. So try and avoid that horrible disease called flititis. The other thing is another disease called meningitis. So don't penny pinch your business is what we mean by there, because it actually leads to diminishing returns in the long time. I'm actually maintaining a catalogue stock, which is very, very important, because if you've got yourself a target of dropping, say, 250 catalogues a week, make sure you've got enough catalogues to actually stick to that target. And things like replacing snappy bags, a small thing, and they're only pence, but these snappy bags make a big difference because they're your shop window. So we tend to suggest replacing every other time or every time, or definitely when you can clearly see that there's a hole in them or they look a bit tatty, because they're your shop window. Imagine a high street and you've got a dirty window covered in grime and mud. You won't go into that shop. So it's exactly the same thing. You want an attractive pack going out to your customers. So don't penny pinch on things like that, because it will actually cost you in the long run. You know, if in doubt, throw it out. Now, something here that I think is so important is just understanding what's going to happen to you, and all this happens to every one of us who starts. And it's what to expect in your first few weeks, and it's really deciding that you can handle all these little challenges, and they might be a biggish challenge as you hit them, but actually in reality they're quite small. And the first is actually catalogues are a business expense, so you're going to lose a few, and we know you're going to lose around about between 1 and 10 every time you drop 100 catalogues, so around about 10% when you're just getting started in the early days. You're going to get people who actually don't want your catalogues, which is absolutely fine. And of course, sometimes it rains as well, so you're going to lose a few catalogues if you get a real shower hitting your catalogues. You may actually just drop a few catalogues and just pick up a very small pickup. And I said earlier, you need to drop maybe 2,000 or 3,000 houses before you actually start creating that average. So, don't judge it on what you do in the first few weeks. Judge it over a bigger period of time. The other thing is you might have to go back several times to pick up your catalogues, and that's just the way it is. We all have to go through this in that early days building process, and you'll come across competition because there are other distributors out there, but don't worry about it, don't panic, just focus on your own business and you'll actually see your business grow. And the other thing is you're going to get the odd occasional cock up as well. Sometimes the Parcelforce van may have a flat tire and be late with the delivery, and there's going to be occasional error with your picking and packing for your order, but it doesn't happen very often, and it's not a massive problem, and you will work your way through that. But these things are things that we've all gone through and come out the other side with our customer bases. So expect it to happen, and almost welcome it to happen, because once you go through these things, you're becoming a proper Clean Easy distributor. So, is the business worth building? Absolutely, because within the Fast Track group we've got people who are earning anything between £15 and £18 an hour with a very established customer base, and that's cracking income for time and effort. Did they get that at the beginning? No. They actually went through everything that you're going through right now, but what they did is they persevered. So really, success is quite often around the corner, but what you need to do is just keep going, don't give up on it, and if you keep following the system we've shown you, your success will follow as well. So look, good luck in your business, hopefully you found that useful, and work hard, stick with what your sponsor is showing you, follow that system, and we know you're going to be really successful with this business. Okay, look forward to speaking with you very soon, and good luck.